Hello, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to be doing your March the 1st, just for today, in a meditation. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. If you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Okay, let's take a look at it. We're skipping over February the 29th, but I will come back to it later on and create that one for you as well in case you just feel extra ambitious and want to read it. Okay, so let's look at it. It is entitled Anxiety Attack. The power that brought us to this program is still with us and will continue to guide us if we allow it. That comes from the basic text, page 27. Ever had a panic attack? Everywhere we turn, life's demands overwhelm us. We're paralyzed and we don't know what to do about it. How do we break an anxiety attack? First, we stop. We can't deal with everything at once, so we stop for a moment to let things settle. Then we take a spot inventory of the things that are bothering us. We examine each item, asking ourselves this question: how important is it, really? In most cases, we find that most of our fears and concerns don't need our immediate attention. We can put those aside and focus on the issues that really need to be resolved right away. Then we stop again and ask ourselves, who's in control here anyway? This helps remind us that our higher power is in control. We seek our higher power's will for the situation, whatever it is. We can do this in any number of ways: through prayer, talks with our sponsor, or NA friends, or by attending a meeting and asking others to share their experience. When our higher power's will becomes clear to us, we pray for the ability to carry it out. Finally, we take action. Anxiety attacks need not paralyze us. We can utilize the resources of the NA program to deal with anything that comes our way. Just for today, my higher power has not brought me all this way in recovery only to abandon me. When anxiety strikes, I will take specific steps to seek God's continuing care and guidance. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You know, it's very difficult to retrain our brains to accept that a lot of what is going on around us, we are not in control of. And our thought process, our thinking gets into that situation and we start managing and controlling it with our thoughts. So we think. And as we're doing that, we are creating more and more anxiety. And sometimes, if we actually are taking action, we can create more of a mess for ourselves and others as well. It takes time to retrain our brains to understand that there are some things that, although we don't have any control over them, we do have control over our reactions. Now, this is what I can honestly say about anxiety attacks. If you have ever suffered from having anxiety attacks, your first thought is not, let me breathe through this. You jump on the bandwagon of the anxiety. And sometimes the anxiety attack, this panic attack, can be very paralyzing. So you may not actually be able to move. You may not be able to barely breathe or do anything because you are in that moment. Whatever is going on is a real situation, and it is having a physiological effect on you in that very moment. That's why I say sometimes it takes time to retrain our brains. And some of the suggestions here are powerful, although if you are not in the habit of practicing prayer, talking with your sponsor or your NA friends, or making regular meetings, or asking others to share their experience with you, reaching for the phone, sitting still and meditating. If you're not in the habit of doing that, when the anxiety attack hits you, it's going to be very difficult to apply it. You know how we say in the fellowship, try calling your sponsor on your good days so when there's a bad day, the phone doesn't feel so heavy? This is sort of the same concept. Learn to practice these useful recovery tools so that when the heat of the situation is on, the panic attack, the anxiety attack is there, you know what? It will almost be natural for us to go into breathing 10 times deeply and letting the air that we take in seep out through our mouths barely, as slowly as possible. And as you inhale and take that oxygen back in through your nose, you're feeding your brain a different chemical, and it changes how your brain is working in that moment. And you will find just by practicing breathing deeply, you will find yourself beginning to calm down. And as you calm down, you can then be released from that paralyzing anxiety and begin to take other action, whether it be praying or calling someone. It's very wise to heed this counsel that is in this meditation. And I would love to hear from you and hear how you're doing with dealing with your anxiety in the spirit of recovery, with the spiritual principles that we have, with the tools, techniques that we've gained over the years. It's time for us to cut the distance down between knowing the information and doing the information that we've learned. I'd love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to. I will be talking to you tomorrow.